Hello, today we're going to be looking at the data that was collected from the Digital Literacy Institute, as well as from interviews gathered at the Institute and separately at another location with Masters of Ed grad students who are also teachers within the Ottawa Catholic District Board and Ottawa Public District Board. So the main focus is digital literacy is being utilized within the arts as much as it is within other academic subject areas. So I really wanted to take a look at whether or not the digital literacies and the arts have been incorporated, because within my own experience, I had seen very limited of it and a little bit of a resistance to it. So in order to get those answers, I broke it down to more three specific questions. So is technology being used as frequently within the arts as it is within other academic subjects? How has digital literacies been incorporated within the four disciplines of the arts? And what do teachers need to be better equipped to incorporate or further support digital literacies within the arts? So just to give some background about the observations, it took place within two separate settings. First at the Digital Literacy Institute between July 11th to the 14th. It was three participants specifically that got the three questions asked to them. However, an overall study was done just on observing interactions and behavior throughout the Institute. And the second group was, as stated, master's students in the teaching and learning in the arts. And that was three students as well on July 14th. So more detail about the participants within the digital literacy institution. The first participant was an FSL teacher within the elementary panel. The second one was a high school teacher, computer science, and the third one was an English-speaking elementary school teacher. Within the second group, the first one was an elementary school teacher who taught art specifically within her class. The second one was an elementary school teacher who was just an art teacher, and she taught from grades 5 to 8. And participant number 3 was an elementary school teacher who taught art within her own class as well. So the data. So the first question, as mentioned, is technology being used as frequently within the arts as it is in other academic subject areas? So I had included my notes per participants for both sets. But the big theme ideas that I took away from this was that the secondary teacher stated that she saw the most use of technology in relation to all the elementary school teachers that I had asked. And she stated that it may be due to the administration pushing the use of technology within their class. And she believes that was a significant role in the use of technology within the arts. The elementary school teachers stated that technology was being used within their programming. However, they did not think it was used as a form of assessment within the arts. So they had used technology to film plays, for green screen activities. However, they did not think to use it within assessment for the arts. And they stated they were more comfortable within the traditional methods of arts. The EDU 5358 participants seemed a lot more comfortable with using technology in the arts. However, this could be because they felt more comfortable teaching art as a whole in comparison to the other group. A major theme that emerged with the idea of technology is that the technology could be used more frequently within the arts across all of the strands. So currently they didn't think it was across all strands. Although a few participants do use technology, they admit that they could be adding more to it, and they need to expand outside their comfort level. One participant stated that there was a big push for technology, much like the secondary teacher. So that kind of indicates that she has tried to use a lot of technology within her arts, and that her school did purchase a lot of technology. So she feels that there was kind of a push to do that. The second question was, how has digital literacies been incorporated within the four disciplines of the arts? Once again, I just added some research notes. But the main idea that I got from that was that participants agreed that all 4 disciplines do not receive the same amount of technology within their teachings. There was a difference between the elementary section and the secondary. Many of the elementary teachers stated that the visual arts and the music don't receive too much technology. However, the secondary teachers stated that drama and visual arts were the 2 top to receive technology opportunities. However, dance and music were taught more traditionally. The elementary participants stated that little technology goes into many of the art programming, but some examples that were given were YouTube is used to demonstrate skills, so it's more of an instructional device versus a creative device. One participant stated that an app was used briefly that develops beats and rhythm within a music class, but she said it was just for a very short period. And a theme that emerged was that all participants did not see much digital literacy within all 4 disciplines within their own experiences. One participant stated this could be due to different teachers teaching the different disciplines in art, and then having different teaching styles and different teaching beliefs. Many participants indicated that the digital literacy within the arts are mainly focused on being used only as a research tool, so researching specific artists or songs, but not actually creating their own pieces or works. So what do teachers need to be better equipped to incorporate further support in digital literacy within the arts? I collected some notes again, but the big idea were that all participants indicated a need for more additional resources and a place to start in order to implement this in order to implement digital literacy within the arts and across curricular. Some participants indicated more hands-on workshops and professional development. These were the ones who participated in the Digital Literacy Institute. They felt the hands-on really allowed them to see the connection and kind of get in there and become more comfortable with the use of technology. And this allowed them to actually make the connection to the arts as well. So, testing with different apps and different strategies of using stuff prior to bringing it into their class, getting a little more comfortable with it. The secondary teacher stated not enough opportunities were provided for secondary teachers as they were for elementary. So she felt if more PD or workshops were available and open to secondary teachers, they may be able to use the same ideas. A theme that emerged was all participants agreed that resources and technology, a list of them would be helpful to kind of know what's out there. As well as making connections and making educators aware of the different technologies to enhance digital literacy within the classroom, and making a connection between digital literacy, the arts, and the curriculum so that they can see how it can be taught cross-curricular and they see the benefits of it. So where do we go from here? So 4 major issues came up. Technology may be limited, comfort level and teaching beliefs, lack of an entry point, and lack of support. So for then those 4, conversations did emerge, and some stated that you can get granting or funding if you have lack of technology or limited technology. Also, you can be looking into apps and software which can be existed or added to existing technology, and incorporating more collaboration within the classroom, outside of the classroom. That way you don't have to feel the limited technology as a problem. In terms of comfort level and teaching beliefs, many educators are their own barriers. So in order to overcome this, they need to start small and expand beyond their comfort level. And a lot of the participants did state that when they started small, they felt a little more comfortable and kind of gradually kept going with it. Also, through seeing the benefits which digital literacy brings to a student's learning, and how it can be easily incorporated, it might actually help to overcome the resistance of some of the educators. In terms of lack of entry point, kind of going back to the comfort level, starting small and focusing on one thing and then slowly building. A lot of the participants said that often they go to workshops, they feel very overwhelmed, so trying to avoid that. That way you feel comfortable and you start to make your own connections. In terms of lack of support, as said previously, there's a need for additional resources or workshops, possibly a website. Participants did say that they couldn't find a website within their own boards that would have a list of these technologies, but they feel it would be beneficial, and allowing others to indicate connections, and kind of make your own connections, as well as providing hands-on learning. They felt that other educators could learn more from that. So how does the data inform my thinking? Four major points I got from this: that there is a want to incorporate digital literacy within the arts. However, a lot of the educators that were interviewed had not previously made the connection between digital literacy and the arts. However, when asked the questions or within the institute, they started to make those own connections. Also, there's a need to incorporate more resources and information on how digital literacy and the arts can be used within the classroom, whether it just be within the arts or cross-curricular. It is interesting that the secondary level use technologies such as programming within their visual arts, while many of the elementary teachers stick to traditional methods. This makes me wonder, how do students adjust to this change, and whether or not it impacts their academic, whether positive or negative. And as noted by one of the participants, the arts are taught from various educators within each school. So how does this impact student learning and engagement within the arts with regards to teachers who implement technology and those who do not? So is this implementing them when they go to different styles of different arts and different teaching styles? Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the presentation.